The other thing to keep in mind was that this was given to the magistrates and to the civil authorities. This was not to be used for personal vengeance. In fact, personal revenge was warned against. God says in Leviticus 19, "Do not seek revenge or bear a grudge against anyone among your people, but love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord." But somehow, along the line, this got twisted, so that instead of restricting the urge for revenge, this phrase was used to fuel it. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth. You got to go out there and get even with somebody who has hurt you. But Jesus is trying to untwist that attitude. He says it's okay to let them get away with it. It's okay to set aside your rights. Boy, is that different from what we hear today. To be willing to set aside your rights, Jesus says, yeah, you should be willing to do that for the sake of your brother and even for the sake of the person who wishes you harm. Remember earlier in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus said that you are going to be light in this world, and that means that you are going to look very different than the darkness. You're going to look very different from the world around you. People should be able to spot a Christian from a mile away, like they can a town or a city on a hill that's lit up in the night. You're going to be different in this regard too. Because sinful nature is always seek revenge, pay them back for what they did to you. But Jesus says if you let your light shine, you may set aside your right to get revenge, restrict your urge to get revenge. And in that way, you are actually reflecting the love of Christ. And he says you're going to be different, but there is a purpose for this difference, so that other people may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. So if an evil person hits you, they are fully expecting you to hit them back. And so what an act of love to respond instead with peace. If someone sues you for the shirt off your back, they're expecting a fight. And so what an act of love to offer them your coat as well, which was far more valuable. If someone is forcing you to walk a mile, they are expecting you to grumble every step of the way. And so what an act of love to offer to go another mile with them. Boy, that sounds like you're setting us up to be a doormat, Jesus. No, actually, Jesus is making you a stepping stone to Christ. The reason for this is so that others may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. When they are expecting you to react in the same way that everyone else does, and you do, well, then they're going to see, okay, there's nothing different about you. You're just like us. But if instead you show yourself to be light in the darkness, well, then you can act as a stepping stone to God that might just be one of those good deeds that people see and end up glorifying the Father in heaven. Right? You can show the love of God by returning their hatred with love. By repaying their hatred with love, their disgust with kindness, and their evil with good.